Welcome to Baby Boomer Tales. My name's Jim. Well, September has been a very nice month this year. It's a good time to travel because all the kids are back in school. We like to travel to Branson, Missouri a lot in September and October. The trees are turning in October and it's very pretty down there in the Ozarks. We're talking about going to Tennessee possibly this fall. If we're going to go to Colorado, we better get a move on. The aspens are turning gold even as we speak, and that is a short season up in the mountains. Those aspens are beautiful though. It's pretty around here too in October, but right now we're about 3 days away from the official start of autumn. Our song of the week this week is Summertime by the British rock band Mungo Jerry. We are doing this song to salute summer as it ends in just a couple days, like we just talked about. This great song was released in 1970 and reached number 1 on most music charts around the world, including 7 weeks on the UK singles charts, the United Kingdom. It reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. It ended up selling over 30 million copies. Amazing. This great song was written by the band's lead singer, Ray Dorset, while he was working in a lab for Timex. So Timex must have paid him to write this song, huh? Dorset said the song took all of 10 minutes to write. Possibly he did it on his lunch break. In the summertime when the weather is high, you could stretch right up and touch the sky.
Hey, Gitta, how do I do this sound effect and make it sound like that science fiction stuff? You hit this button here. Jim is going to have a cow. Let's do the knock.
Whoa, okay, guys. Yes, the Munchies have leeway to be creative on the housekeeping segment this week.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes. Okay, the first part of our housekeeping is we had a episode talking about the great lockdown of 2020 here a few weeks ago, and I said something about Arm & Hammer wipes, but I called them Lysol wipes. The Arm & Hammer are in the square box, okay? It's a rectangular box, but they don't roll around in the car. They're very nice to put in your car because of that reason, where everybody else has the cylinder type containers. What I do though, because the Arm & Hammers are getting hard to find, real hard to find actually, is when I'm out, if I can't find some Arm & Hammer, I just take a roll out of a cylinder can and stick it in that Arm & Hammer can and I'm good to go. On our episode about Head and Shoulders, about getting stung by what I called hornets, they're actually wasps. I looked them up and they're a black wasp. I had never heard of them before, and that explains why their nest looked like a square box instead of like paper wasps or mud daubers or something. Hornets are bigger. Now these wasps, I said they stung me in several places. One was in my shoulder, and it's been 2 or 3 weeks ago now that happened. And I thought that on the one wound on the shoulder, I thought it was a scab, and I started messing with it, thinking, when's this scab going to come off? And it was like hard. And I started looking at that wound. It was still all red around it. And it turned out it was a stinger. So this morning, with the wife's help, we pulled that stinger out of my arm. Amazing. The sucker was kind of long in there. Then I bathed it with hydrogen peroxide. I think I'll be okay. But I don't remember ever having a stinger stay in me. when I'm stung by those little nasty, mean-spirited critters. The last piece of housekeeping is the episode that said 10 years ago, and I was talking about getting fired from a job that I've had 18 years and how that affected me and my path towards forgiveness and all that stuff. Well, one thing I don't think I mentioned in it, I never had been fired before. Never. And another thing is, the reason I was so emotional about it more than anything, I had planned to work till I was 70. And that's how I had my money all planned out, where the house would be paid by then. I had just bought and paid for a barn just a week before. It was finished and I had it all paid off. Paid for it as we built it. And we built it during the summer. And then the 4th of September or something, bammo, whammo, man. So that's why I was so emotional and uptight and battling fear during that time. One other thing, I said I committed my resume to places, and that was supposed to be submitted, my resume. The Munchies gave me a bad time about that.
Jim,
I know, I'm telling them now, okay?
you have to say your sentences correct.
Yes, I know. English are us, yes. English are us. Okay, well, that's our housekeeping for this week. Munchies, you did okay, except you think you know everything.
Thank you, Jim.
You might find what you need and more at Homer Kate's General Store. You might find what you need and more at Homer Kate's General Store. Hey, Homer. Wake up, Homer. You're supposed to be watching the store. Hi, Pop. I am. I'm just resting my eyes. You know, you gotta rest your eyes so they don't get tired, Pop. Homer, I think you're full of beans, is what I think. Anyway, I just came from Apple's Cafe, and you'll never guess what happened. What's that, Pop? Let's see. The President of the United States was having a bowl of soup. No. Let's see. They got a new sign, and they called it half-eaten apples. No, Homer, be serious. Okay, Pop. You got choked, and Bud and Jim and Sam had to give you that Heimlich maneuver. Homer, that's Heimlich maneuver. It ain't Heimlich. What are you talking about, Homer? Well, I guessed. Well, here's what's going on, Homer. Gator Earl just bought Apple's Cafe from Bob and Kelly just today. What? What's happening to Bob and Kelly? They're retiring, Homer. Wow. Yeah, Homer. And he's going to live in the living quarters there. Bob and Kelly are moving out. What about Mrs. Dumas's place? Well, I think she'll understand, Homer. I do. Wow. How old is he? I don't know, Homer. Hold on, Pop. I gotta go somewhere. What's the store, Pop? Do 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 da 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 ba ha ha da 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 ha ba. I can't wait to see what's on TV tonight. Here I am at Apple's Cafe. I'm going in. Hi, everybody. Hi, Homer. How are you? I'm doing good, but Pop told me that you just bought this here establishment from Bob and Kelly. That's right, Homer. We just finished up. Well, how did you have enough money to buy a cafe? Well, Homer, it's like this. I've been saving my money. I've worked here for 3.5 years now, and I've been saving my money every penny I could save. I saved it. I didn't blow it on a bunch of stuff. Usually, Allie and I only went out once a week and didn't spend much money doing that. Well, golly there, Gator Earl. Yeah, and promise you not to tell anybody, Homer? I promise, 'cause you're one of my dearest friends. You know that, Homer. I know. I know, and I'm the first person you ever met in here in some city. Yes, sirree, doggies, I am. I'm the first. I know, Homer, and I've always held that dear in my heart. Well, I gave them a nice down payment, and they're carrying the note. That is their retirement fund, is the note on this place. And in about 20 years, I'll have it paid off. Maybe sooner if business is good. I've got all kinds of plans for this place, Homer. I hear you're going to live back in the living quarters, Gator Earl. Yes, sir. I'm moving tonight as soon as we close the cafe. Wow. What else you going to do? You going to change the name to Gator Earls? Yeah, doggies, that'd be a good name for a cafe. No, Homer, I'm leaving it as Apples. I think that's a good name. Bob and Kelly thought it was a good name. Sign's already up there. I see no reason at all to ever change the name of that place. Besides that, who wants to eat at a place called Gator Earl's? Well, I would, Gator Earl. I'd eat there. I'd have me a hamburger and French fries and a cherry coke, and I'd maybe cover my mouth when I belch at the end of the meal. You know, over there in that Europe, they belch out loud to let you know that they thought it was a good meal. But my mother would have got me a good one. She would have. She would have, Gator Earl. She would have. I know what you mean, Homer. I do. Well, so you gonna do anything special, like change the menu? No, Homer. You know, things will evolve. I've got a lot of plans. One other thing about this whole deal is that big old building next to the cafe that's sat empty. Yeah, it's been empty ever since we moved to some city, Gator Earl. Well, Bob and Kelly owns that, and that was part of the deal. So I'm going to try to make some kind of a venue, not increase the size of the restaurant or anything, but make some kind of a venue for it. Maybe for like wedding receptions or something. I don't know yet. A venue? Golly, Gator Earl, that is a $3 word if I ever heard it. Like, what does that mean? It means a destination spot or a place where you have something special. And I don't know, besides that, venue. Okay, I'll take your word for it there, Gator Earl. Everyone's going to know here pretty soon because Pop knows and I know and I imagine Mrs. Dumas knows and pretty soon the whole town will know. We're going to have a little party here next week, kind of try to celebrate. Maybe on a Saturday night. We'll spread the word. We'll probably have a little smorgasbord that everyone can eat free. You better come, Homer. It might be the only time you get something free here in this place. I will. I like free stuff, Gator Earl. It's some of my favorite stuff in the whole wide world. It is. What does Allie think about this here, Gator Earl? Well, she graduates, you know, in the spring. And after she graduates, I'm hoping we get married. I'm planning on proposing just as soon as I see her and tell her the big news. She knew it was happening anyway. Propose? You mean propose a business partnership? Kinda, Homer. I'm gonna ask for her hand in marriage. Whoa, doggies there, Gator Earl. That's bigger than buying a restaurant. I think you're right, Homer. Well, there, Gator Earl. I'm very excited for you. How old are you anyway? Next week I'll be 22 years old. It's going to be my birthday on the 26th. Well, let's have a shindig then. Maybe I will, Homer. Everything's swirling around me so fast, I've got to stop, take a breath, and think about it a little bit. I don't blame you at all, Gator Earl. Maybe we ought to go fishing and think about it. I better go fishing here in the next day or two, because after that, I don't know if I'll ever have time to go fishing again. You will, Gator Earl. Believe me, I have a small business, and I go fishing all the time. Well, yeah, Homer, I understand. I really miss my little Colorado town in the fall, with golden aspens sitting on the hillside up against those purple mountains. It's green and then it's gold and then it's green with the evergreen trees up above it, and then those purple mountains' majesty. You can see the Continental Divide from my little town. Look at old Abraham Lincoln, the man in the mountain. He just lays up there. You can just see him plain as day, laying there, not moving a muscle. Is he asleep or is he dead? I think he's timeless. I think it's a wonderful thing that God made for us to see up there. Amongst all the other beauty, everywhere you go, if it's Kansas or it's Colorado or it's your hometown, it doesn't matter. Just take a breath and look around and realize how blessed you are. Well, that's about it today. Just remember to wake up each day with a grateful heart and always be kind. Thank you so much for riding along with me today. I really appreciate it. I'll be back next Wednesday. Peace out. Katie girl, where you at, Katie?
Hi, Homer.
Whew, glad I found you. I've got the biggest news you ever heard. Gator Earl just bought Apple's Cafe, and they're gonna have a party, Katie.
Love you, Homer.
I love you too.